Hello everybody. So let's continue our series about how to create a blog application through API and the front end with Vue.js. So in the last video we just finished to create a new API completely. So the only thing that is missing here is pretty much let's commit everything. I already staged finish it. Let's put it like that, or actually added authentication, and I will push it. And I don't need to do any more changes over here, so I will close it and leave it as it is. So I want to focus now in my front-end application. So the first thing that I need to install here, now that we have the application working, is actually start Axios. Yarn add Axios. There you go. As you remember, this is going to be the one that is going to handle all our API calls. And inside my plugins, where's my plugins? Over here, I will create a new file called Axios. And let me change this one to Vue App API. And this actually into the process.env.vueapp API. There you go. So here in this helper or this plugin, we're just importing Vue Axios, creating an API, and call it Axios inside the Vue, so make it available to edit in all our applications. And we just having a Vue App API is going to be our base URL. That URL needs to be in our env file, so we just put it over here. And in this case, I will add the localhost. You're gonna see it because I have hide it, but pretty much need to be. Let me change this where it was before. I will be pointing to my localhost. That way is where I have my API right now. So let me change this again to process.env.vue app API, and here I just put that pretty much inside. And here is pretty much my local host, is what I have here. So because of that, I need to get back to my Vue application. I changed the environmental variable, so I need to stop it and start my server again in order to make it work. My API is still running where it's supposed to be running. So I will just finish this to be compiled and continue working with the application itself. So we have pretty much our authentication almost done. The last time that we saw it, we just get in the ID token. We now can send that ID token as a default for API calls through Axios, and we will call the login endpoint, and we know that the login will return a user, so the data that this is going to be saving is going to set pretty much our user in our app. So now that it's running, I can actually go to login to Gmail, and I will wait a little bit. It should be almost there, and something happened actually. I can see that I actually did a call. No, I don't know what happened here, so let me refresh it just in case. Let me go to my login, choose my email again, and let me see actually what is happening. I need to specify this, but I didn't need it before. Something is happening. Oh, this access is undefined. Of course, that's why it's not working. because try to do this and it's actually not working, because I have my plugin over here, but my plugin is not imported. So you need to import from my plugins directory Axios, and that's it. I will try again. And it doesn't matter that we don't have a success URL, we are pushing everything through our main router push. So we are here right now. If I go see my Vue instance, we can see that my last payload is there. Let me load my state. My user object is already created with the information that I need. That means it is actually working the way that it's supposed to. So I can add some extra elements that are missing in our navbar. As you can see, I don't see the login anymore. So that means I should be able to start looking at different information in there. So if we go to navbar, we have a if the user doesn't exist, show this, but we need to show something in the case of this is false. So I will list all this information, and I want to explain line by line what it actually does. So I'm creating a menu element, and that menu element has just the username in there, and it's creating a drop-down menu. A drop-down menu will call show dialog application whenever I run a post, or will call the logout when I clear the logout. And of course I have already my logout over here, and the show dialog is mapped already here. So if I save this, I should be able to see my name, and I can add a post and I can log out. If I log out, you will see that my state changed. I don't have my ID token, I don't have my user anymore. But if I log in, select my account, you will see that my user is there, and now I have this pretty cool menu on my top. So that's pretty neat. That means whenever I click here, actually let's start working with the content of our home file. And for that, let's go to home. Let me get this. So this is what I'm going to be doing. I have a row, a container that is pretty much full in everything, a row that have column dependent deciding, and we will have the blog post in there, and that blog post is a custom component that will be added. And what I'm doing here is pretty much getting the blocks. That's from actual get API posts. We know that API posts bring everything here, and you just call get blocks, and this is what I'm going to be doing. The blocks elements in my data is going to be equal to my response data. So whenever it came out from my API, that means that for every blog post in the blocks, I will pretty much create something, and depending with a couple of custom events, is going to, if I delete something, I need to like re-render the blocks. So when I call it, whenever I delete something, I need to re-render those blocks. I need to add the dialog. Dialog is going to be a new component also that's going to be called. So right now our application is not working because I don't have those two elements in there. So let me add it. So let me add one component called blog post.view, and this one is going to be actually this. It's a simple card that we have in Vuetify. That card will have a title with the blog title. We have subtitle with the blog with the author name, and if the created, we will just have that new date over there. Then we'll have the blog text, that's pretty much the content, and then I will verify if I can actually if the user ID is the same as the blog author ID. If it's actually true, I will show the edit and delete button from there. If this is false, That means I'm not able and authorized to edit, so I will not handle anything of those. And whenever I open the edit button, you open my edit dialog, and my edit dialog will do something here. So whenever I cancel, it will pretty much hide the dialog. Whenever I edit it, I just emit that event, and that event is going to be emitted on my parent. So here I'm sending the props of the block. These are just a simple object. My open edit for the default is going to be false. I have my getter for the user, the simple user in order to get the information. And I will have my methods. So whenever I need to delete a post, I just need to call the delete action with that post ID. Remember, this came from API, and then I will emit that this custom embed. So whenever I delete something, I just making the okay deleted. That means this will happen in my parent, and it will recreate or regenerate my block. So that means I want to make the call again with the blocks. Show dialog is just pretty much opening and closing it. We have by default false. It's just a pop-up that want to be showed. So show is going to be true, hide is going to be false, and edit is going to hide edit the dialog, pretty much hide the dialog in there, and emit that is already edited. As simple as that. Right now our application is still not running because we don't have the dialog. So let's actually create that dialog. Vuetify dialog to view. And I'm being actually lazy here, just copy and paste it, but I want to move a little bit faster, guys. So in my dialog is just a row that is going to depending need to be open or not. And the only things that we're going to be doing have add a new post, and it's a form with a title and a content, and that's it. That title have a counter, so it doesn't allow to have more than 30, and it have a specific rule. So we have a validation here, and we saw that previous how it works. So I have a couple of validations, and very simple. I just require that the title is required. It's as simple as that, and another validation that the length is less than 30, and the content just required. That's it. So whenever I click cancel, I just pretty much execute cancel, and execute cancel. What you're going to be doing is reset the form and hide the dialog. But the adding, what I'm going to be doing, and this model we have title and content is actually in my data too, title and content. So my adding, what it does is going to validate the form to see that it's actually having the validation, and if it's valid, it will call the post to the API. I'm calling the title, text, and the author. I'm sending the ID to a string. They are the elements I actually need to send to my API, and with that, everything is going to be created in my backend. Of course, I will reset the form. I will emit a custom event called added, and that event is going to be here in my parent. So dialog is in home actually, and when added happen, I will refresh and get the blocks again. So if I save those, and it's just to add the edit dialog. The edit dialog is really similar to the dialog, so that's why I'm saying I'm being actually lazy here. So I will call it edit dialog. So the dialog traditionally just to add a new post or new block. The edit is going to be the one to edit the one specific, and the content is really similar. We have the same dialog open. It's a little different. The title changed just a little bit, so we probably can use one and have like a validation, but I'm just keeping things simple right now. Instead of adding, I have the button called save. They have the same rules in there, with the difference when this actually open, I reset it, and this one have a prop for the post. So I actually send it the post that was to be sent over here, and I send it to open to in order to open and close my particular dialog here. So I'll just pretty much put, because I'm going to update with information. I don't need to update the user because the user is going to be the same. So I'm just updating my title and my text, and that's it. And I believe I have everything here. There you go. I have my new post and my other post that we created by Rudolf through the Postman. And actually, as you can see, I cannot add anything here. So if I log in through my app, let's wait for a minute. Because I'm the author, I can actually edit or delete those blog posts. Also, I can go and add a new one and add it from web. What's up? It's all commercial. So let's put it there. And it's right there. If I create a new one, well, let's call it, and it's actually console. That's going to be the same. If I edit one of those, I click edit, add it with the content, so I can actually put another content here and save it. That what it's supposed to be doing, and it didn't do it, is actually call this application. So let's see what happened. If I refresh, oh, we can see that the put didn't work. We need to see what's actually happening there. So let me log in. Let me edit. Let me change this. And didn't happen. Let's see if we have an error. No, the network. No, let's see our API. Let's see what happens here. So I'm getting the post. Perfect. But when I click edit and save, it's there. Right, you can see the X. If I save it, I am calling my put. I can see my put right here. My request is there, and my response is added from web. Author is required. Oh, I put my author as required too. I forget about that. So that's why my edit is actually not working. As you can see, I can see the error right here. So let's actually fix it. I have an error in my code. And in order to fix it, it's going to be pretty much the same here. Just getting the user. And let me check if I have my getter for the user. I have the getter for the user. So in my post will have the author. I need to send that. And that's it, I believe. So if I change it to something else, now it's working. If I delete it, it's actually working too. If I log out and log in with a new account, let me log in with my other account. Let me use the one for the STC. So now I'm as Rodolfo from an STC. I cannot edit these two because I know the author is the other account. But I can create a new one. Hello there. Star Wars reference. I can add it. I can just edit the one that I created with my STC account. If I go out and I log in again with my Google, I just can edit the first two. The third one stays like it is. So it's a really basic blog application, similar probably to the Node one, but actually using an API. I know that I didn't went into much details of the content, but again, don't worry, you have access to this. So let me just finish it. Let me stage it, and let me actually create a new repository. So let me go to GitHub. I will create a new one called Blog App. It's going to be public. Perfect. I will just add my remote and I will push it. Remember, in my case, I need to add it through the Git one. If you don't have your keys selected, you need to add it to the HTTPS one. So after I push it, I can just refresh and my information is already here. Perfect. And I can see my env file is not there. So the next steps, you already know it. What I will require you to have in this video lab is to finish your application, all of them, publish with the changes, and put it inside the portfolio. So if you have any question, any doubt, of course don't hesitate to reach me. I know it was a really quick video, but I'm available if you have any question in there. And you have access to the source code, so see what I actually put it there and how it actually works. So I hope that you like it. Any question, any doubt, don't hesitate to reach me again, guys. Happy coding.